Good afternoon, financial professionals. Abby Fletcher here of E4 Insurance Services, welcoming you to the BREW, Building Relationships Every Week. Thanks for tuning in today. For those of you joining the BREWcast for the first time, we like to kick off the call by celebrating today's special day for September 22nd. Today is the first day of fall, also known as the autumnal equinox. Today, the sun crosses the equator from north to south, making day and night roughly the same length. So happy fall, y'all. Make today count, as this event only happens once a year. Perhaps treat yourself to a pumpkin spice latte to kick off the season. Today on the BREW, as part of our business strategy series, we have Jack Leavy, who serves as Business Solutions Specialist at Principal Financial Group. Today, Jack will be sharing details on non-qualified deferred comp and the many ways this strategy protects owners and their business equity needs planning. Feel free to use the chat box down below while Jack is live. I'll be keeping a lookout for your questions and comments. Also, all attendees are in a drawing for a prize, and we'll be announcing the winner shortly. Thank you for tuning in, and without further ado, Jack, welcome. The mic is yours.
Well, thank you, Abby. Good afternoon, everybody. Can't thank you enough for giving me an opportunity to spend 10, 15 minutes with you, share some ideas, share some thoughts of what we're seeing at Principal. Just to give you a quick background myself, I've been working in the business market space for 27 years at Principal, actually 10 years prior to that with another company. Business owners are top of mind every day for me. And what I've noticed every day talking to them over the last year and a half, conversations fell into three areas. They all want to protect their business, but they're saying things like, I want to protect the business and my equity. They also want to enhance their lifestyle. They're always looking for angles and tools to make sure they're taken care of, which is also protecting their equity because their business might be their biggest asset. And lastly, they know that key employee retention, let's face it, we're back to an all-time high in quit rates. People are struggling to keep their talent. There's a great resignation going on. There's early retirements. A lot of companies are saying to me, some of my older executives are leaving. The younger ones aren't yet ready. I'm having retention problems, recruiting problems, retaining problems. And so what I want to share with you today is, when we had disruption many years ago in 2008, or we had disruption in 2001, I like to say when planes flew in buildings, one of the biggest things that happened in my life was conversations around restoring lost benefits, taking care of key people was actually top of mind. And so we all know that there's a lot of businesses that did really well and are doing well in COVID. We also know there's some that maybe struggled but are coming through. And then some were struggling prior, maybe are struggling. And then there's new ones like restaurants that might be struggling as well. But one of the things I would say to you is in COVID, 23% of all the companies said they were going to change something on their employees, whether it was a match being dropped in a 401k, whether it was group benefits being eliminated. A lot of times owners said I had to get rid of bonuses or dental coverage. What ended up happening was when I get on the phone with owners, there's an unintended consequence that occurs where owners didn't really want to hurt their key people. They just were trying to save some cash flow. So one of the things I want to share with you is something called restoration plans. And if you think, and you can go to the next slide, but if you think about every small employer, there's 28 million of them, kind of look like this. And I'm talking about those companies with 80, 100 employees or less. They have three kinds of layers of people in the company. There's rank and file employees, the car dealership, the restaurant chain. You can go on and on and on. And then there's some key people in the middle. And then I'd like to say their name is on their door. And then someone at the top's got their name on the building. And so I talk about repackaging a restoration concept to talk to business owners about taking care of this unintended consequence. When you drop a match, say in a 401k, the first thing that might happen is key employees might have a bad conversation with the 401k provider who says, guess what? Now you're getting refund checks back. So the first thing I want to share with you is every small business better think about taking care of their key people. because your business equity and selling your business someday is on the line if you let your key employee be flight risks. And the small companies out there, the ones we talk to every day, might give someone a 401k and a match and maybe some health care and a bonus on a salary and so forth, but they don't do anything more. They're not doing country clubs and stock options, and they don't have the ability to trade stock because they're publicly or privately held. So this retirement gap is real. And what I mean by that is these key employees all have a retirement gap, a life insurance risk gap, and a disability risk gap. So when I'm talking to business owners, I talk about restoring lost benefits. When you think of a small business out there, assume they don't have a pension plan, a defined benefit pension plan. They probably don't. They probably have a 401k. What that means is there's gaps and limitations. I like to say there's gaps and caps, or all 401ks are broken. Why do I say that? Well, in 1986, in a self-directed style 401k, an employee could put $30,000 in one. The pension law change in 87 made it go down to roughly about 7. 1999, you could only put $9,000 in your 401k, because I was there. And I heard all the key people and the owners vent about it. And then now in 2020, it's 19,000. Then there's a testing issue. So I was talking to a business owner today who was a car dealership owner. Last year, they took the match away from the 401k. What ended up happening is the top people, the car service manager, parts manager, general manager, CFO, all got told they were going to get a refund check coming next March. Well, their hair was kind of on fire because they were not happy. Retirement readiness could hurt that equity of that business someday if these people decide to go work somewhere else. So what we talked about was, why don't you restore that lost benefit in a non-qualified deferred compensation plan where you, the employer, can give some key employees the ability to defer on their own and maybe even restore a match and provide a carrot and a stick with a vesting schedule. So in essence, say to the key employee, you can defer in your 401k, but how about deferring your non-qualified 401k? And me, the employer, would also put money in on top to get you retirement ready. Because if you're trying to get to an 80% income replacement threshold, which most studies say, a 401k is not going to get it there for a high performer. So I'd like to say, do you have a restoration plan? What do you mean? Do you allow your key employees 3 bites at the deferral apple pre-tax? 401k, non-qualified 401k salary, non-qualified 401k bonus. Do you have 3 deferral opportunities? You should think about a restoration plan. So I'll give you another example. I had a head chef at a restaurant chain during COVID. Now remember, a lot of business owners are more liquid than ever coming out of COVID. A lot of businesses are doing well. They took PPP money, whatever. But I'm here to say is I had a head chef that was a flight risk because the owner said, we can't even do a 401k because we have too many bartenders, busboys, and so forth, high turnover. So I offered a restoration concept, but $25,000 in a restoration deferred comp plan. We would fund it with life insurance to provide a life insurance coverage gap as well for the head chef. And we also talked about a disability income policy. That business owner said, I'd be happy to put $30,000 in, 25 into the life. I'll buy some disability because now my key employee has a retirement gap covered, a life insurance gap covered, and a disability income gap covered. The owner said, I like this. I can cover him as well and take some of the life insurance on myself. I don't want to lose my key chef. I'd have to go find a replacement. And that owner said, I want to cover my death, disability, and if there's ever a departure of my head chef. And it was a package called a restoration plan. You and I all know it was a life insurance policy bundled in a deferred comp concept and a disability policy, because life insurance gaps are out there for every key employee of these small companies. Disability gaps are also out there. Remember, I know I might be preaching to veterans, but every disability contract I've seen on a group basis covers salary typically, not bonuses, is taxable. And if you're making any kind of money, that employee has a disability gap. So accumulation without risk management is a recipe for disaster. We all kind of know that as a financial planner, but risk management without accumulation is kind of a failure as well. You can't just overinsure yourself and forget to save. Great benefits keep people on board. Group insurance and 401ks are the foundational benefits. You have to have them. But as you build up, start talking to your plan sponsors, your business owners about, do you have key people? Would you hate to lose them? If you lose them, you might lose, studies say, 4 to 5 times their annual income in lost revenue if you don't replace them. You have headhunters fees, relocation costs. This world we're living in today, there's a talent crisis. There's a great resignations going on. Key people at these companies are more important than ever, and tie it to the business owners protecting their business and its equity, because that's the number one thing that they say to us that's top of mind, protecting their business and its equity. They want to enhance their lifestyle. If that business is sold someday and the key employees weren't there to help drive up revenue, drive up value, do you think they're going to get as big of a check? They're not, my view. And oh, by the way, most owners don't view their qualified plan as that meaningful because they usually have some tests and rules and caps. So their business is their biggest asset. So all this goes hand in glove. Protecting your business, making sure you're doing the bread and butter stuff, key man, buy, sell, reviewing all that. Making sure you're taking care of yourself, making sure the business checkbook is doing things to enhance your own lifestyle as a business owner. But more importantly, making sure those key people are there. Making sure that if you pay somebody as an owner $100,000 in salary and a $50,000 bonus, make sure they have a little extra, but maybe they don't get it for 10 years. It'll help bridge their key employees retirement gap. It'll provide some protection for themselves, for life insurance. And oh, by the way, cost recovery and key man needs are covered through the company, all baked into one. I'll pause and open up to questions. We're probably getting close to my 15 minutes, but this concept of there's a triangle, it's a protection triangle. I have an article that we can send you if you want it. Just ask the team at E4, they'll get it to you. And it basically talks about these 3 gaps. And I would say packaging it up, talking about participants, not insureds, talking about contributions, not premium. Say things like plan sponsor, employer. When employers feel that these plans are an extension of the qualified plan experience they already know, then they view this as a plan, and it just might be funded with disability policies, and it might be funded with life insurance policies. And that's where obviously we all want to be, is financing these arrangements. But these arrangements is what wins the day. Win it on consulting, life insurance gap, disability gaps, and retirement gaps. Every company has them. I haven't seen a company that doesn't. And those key employees drive that value. And oh, by the way, the company needs to keep them doing that, but also protect their equity at the same time. I'll pause. I'll turn it back over to you, Abby, if there's questions.
Thanks, Jack. Such an informative share. And I actually just wanted to, the line is open for questions, so get them queued up if you're ready. I just wanted to share that thank you. You've given us a lot of really great language to use in this conversation. One that I pointed out, are you giving your employees 3 bites to the deferral apple? That gets the conversation going. So thank you for that.
Absolutely.
Any questions from the audience? I didn't see any pop in the chat box. And for the audience, this brewcast is recorded and will be posted up on our YouTube channel later today. So if you want to take another look at Jack's slide or any of the comments he made, this will be recorded. And hearing no questions, Jack, let's go right to the giveaway. I'm going to have you choose a number between 1 and 22, please.
Well, my son's birthday was the 19th, so let's go with 19.
Fantastic. Tammy Mark, congratulations, girl. Be on the lookout for an email coming your way from all of us here at E4 with some complimentary continuing education and a coffee card. And be sure to tune in next week for the brew. We'll have E4's very own wealth strategist, Dan Mythen, speaking on new ways to present overfunded life insurance policies to Gen Xers and millennials. So this is one you won't want to miss. Thanks all. Make it a great day and happy fall.
Bye-bye now.
Bravo, Jack.